will get a haircut from Julius. Shut the
courtesy. Once, 5, throw them 20s. Looking down in the club, throw no money. Didn't want me, it's so funny. Now they get killed.
Mammy, bro, what's up, dog?
Going viral. Who's
messing with you? I have no problem with you. You're messing with him?
No. He's good. He's good.
Well, that's you. Oh,
Shit,
my bad, dog.
now they get killed, go get her a GoFundMe. I done made a couple of hundred through pandemic. Hard 6 Vegas like P, no damn limit. Your ass nigga money was short, that damn midget. Lifestyle rubbers won't work, I can't fit it. Disney Plus a fuck a Netflix. Get her on the prompt and I'm hitting the next bitch. Bitch, your last nigga don't exist. Ain't about a dollar.
What's going on, guys? Big Chief here. Welcome back to another episode of To Be Blunt. I'm here with my boy AJ Corleone.
Yes, sir. We out here. Let's go, gang.
Today, a special episode. I got my boy Julius Cvesar from the Bay to LA. Barber, hairstylist, educator, a brand. Rome wasn't built in one day. But the same thing with Julius's resume, you know? Doing this 22 years and you made it into a lifestyle. Welcome to Be Blunt.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Long awaited.
Yeah.
I never do podcasts, so this is a special one for sure.
So if you don't know Julius, he looks like a tattoo artist. I just got to tell you, you do look like a tattoo artist. But he's one of the most profound barbers, like I said, hairstylists in the world. And I walk around places and people go, "Hey, Julius cut your hair?" I'm
Amazing, bro. Amazing.
Yeah, Julius Cvesar cut my hair.
Yeah.
So it's like a blessing for you to come on because your barber is like a therapist. So this guy knows a lot, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Jules?
Yeah, safest place is in the barber chair for anybody that comes sit down, at least in my chair. So yeah, we carry a lot of weight. I know y'all do too. So super excited to be here. We've been talking about this since, years.
Oh,
years.
for real? You guys talked about it? Like you pulling up?
He's
Yeah.
seen my progression of my pod happen.
Yeah.
I told him like
He's the one who gets you right.
I'm gonna
But
wait
the day
till
before.
it, builds all the way up, and then we'll find some time. And so here we are.
Damn.
Bro, we just had P-Rod on here. We had Doja on here. And now we have like the top of the hairstylist barber industry on here. It's pretty crazy. So go ahead.
Oh, just to give a little more background, all right? Because the boys go, they get cuts from you. They would tell me like, "Oh, we at the barber. Let us know if you want to pull up. He's fire." And I would be like, "Oh, that's cool." Like everybody should feel like that about their barber. So I didn't think nothing at first. And then they were like, "Yeah, this is his page. Like this is what he does." And then I looked into it. I was like, "Bro, this fool's a monster. This shit is crazy."
Yeah, I appreciate
so
it.
just to give a little more background, like your resume, like what kind of clientele do you have? Like who have you worked with? Brands, artists, celebrities, like.
I mean, coming from San Francisco and moving to LA over like 12 years ago now, going on 13. Wow, I can't even believe it's about to be
Dope.
13 years.
That's dope.
A big push to get me out here was not only just to be able to put on for the hometown back in the Bay, but also to continue to tell that California story. You know what I mean? And why not bring it to Los Angeles? It's Hollywood. It's the home of the stars. It's where the sharks come, and you find out real quick if you're the big shark, the great white, or if you're the guppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So coming out here and consequently working with all these forms of people, and you know what I mean? I always say, like, in the barber chair, I'm working there, and it's like, you see, like, this is home of the overnight celebrity, overnight success, and the next day downfall, you know what I mean? So I seen it in 12, 13 years of just, like, people moving out here, trying to make their way, trying to come up,
Chasing
including ourselves, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, it's seeing the progression, including y'all, and seeing everybody, whether it's in fashion, in music, in movies, in the creative field, just build up their resume, like you said, right? And some make it, some go back home with their tails tucked. Some just surprise me out of nowhere, you know what I mean? That like, wow, you actually really did it. And like, I guess just to get to your question, like what my resume stands on, I mean, again, not to sound corny, but my favorite people are the ones that come come experience what I got to bring at All Hail and what it's like to be in my barber chair week in and week out. From the elusive ones that never would want their name or photo or pictures to be on camera. They got the most craziest stories to the big names, you know what I mean? I've been blessed to be able to work with the likes of like YG, Bad Bunny, J Balvin, Mustard. Yo, shout out my guy Marcus Fee too. He definitely put me on with a few big names as well. Sick Barber as well. But besides that, being able to work with some big brands as well. One of the most notable ones, I've been in constant work with like Louis Vuitton at doing Paris Fashion
crazy.
Week.
And for
And,
Paris Fashion.
He goes, Chief, I can't cut your hair this week. I'm gonna go cut Louis Vuitton. So I'm like, all right, Julius, just Julius things, every week. Imagine you're a barber doing this, and you're just
Dude,
like,
that lineup is crazy. That lineup
insane,
is like
insane.
like it's not. I mean, I don't care what industry you're in. If you were renting cars, if you're a producer, like that's the clientele people wish for. But like even a magazine can't have those kind of people, like featured or do editorials on.
Yeah,
And
it's
those
a
are
blessing for
customers,
sure.
yeah.
I never take
Huge,
it for
bro.
granted, and I know I'm not self-made, and I always want to give credit to those that help put me on as
like
well.
that. I
But
like
I
that.
do
It's
know
dope.
that, like, hey, the work speaks for itself. I come from the heart, and everything I try to do is like super wholehearted and genuine. Like I said, it's hard for me to come on pods because the resume comes up and
You paid your
I'm
dues,
not
bro.
I'm not the type to want to like brag or boast.
feel
But
you. I
shoot,
feel you. It's your
You
resume,
can check
though.
the resume.
Check
You know
the
what I mean?
resume.
I'll let the work speak for itself. You can check. You
Yeah.
can check it whether it's on social.
Yeah.
Or I try to keep a good name in these streets. so,
Yeah. For anybody who's not from the city, the reason you probably feel like that is I feel like a lot of the city, it's also like super caps, but people name drop like crazy.
Yeah.
So it's dope that like the real ones try not to, but it's not name dropping in this situation because this is your actual resume. This is like your clientele. And you're not doing this as like, hey, this is who I am. This is everybody I work with. You should probably fuck with me.
Yeah, come fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like, nah. Like it's always usually like the second or afterthought. You know what I mean? So it's almost like after you come experience what I got going on, then you were like, oh, what the?
It's
You know what I
probably
mean?
like
So,
like if I posted a picture, I was in your chair or at your shop, it'll be all the people from those labels or artists will be like, yo, that's a homie. Yo, we go there too. It'll be like that kind of experience.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But you did pay your dues, bro. Because I was sitting in this chair. I literally had the first hand experience of how you really go, how you're an artist. Just even with my hair, bro. I never tell you like, hey, I need this haircut or this. You're like, okay, this is how your hair is growing. This how it's flowing. This is how your beard is doing. Like this is how natural you have it. It would look better like that. You know what I mean?
That's tight.
And go through different progression of haircuts. Hey, and he asked me once in a while, how you feeling? I'm like, whatever you're feeling, bro. Hey, but. I was talking to him the other day, and Jules, you were telling me like you used to cut everyone's hair in your high school.
yeah.
Like that's a great way to start and perfect your craft, bro. Like people out there cut people in their high school hair, but bro, taking it to that
This
level,
could turn
bro,
into
is
something.
if
Yeah.
you really think
Yeah.
about it in that aspect, it's pretty crazy.
What high school did you go to? Like which area?
So I'm from the Bay. I was born in Oakland. I grew up in San Francisco in the Mission, and my family slowly worked their way around the city. From the Mission to the Excelsior, then made our way into Daly City, and we finally settled in South San Francisco in Westboro. I've been there, and my parents' house is still there. So anytime I go home is in South San Francisco, and I went to high school at South San Francisco as well.
Okay.
So yeah,
You're a 49ers fan?
Shout out South City. Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Bang bang Niner gang. You know
Bang,
what
bang, Niner gang.
I mean, you can see my our Christmas tree at the house is a fully decked out Niner
Oh, that's
tree.
crazy,
My dad does not play about Bay Area sports.
Yeah, that's dope.
Although I was never the type to be able to sit still in front of the TV, the sports row was always on. So just going out to the games when we can, at the legendary Candlestick. You know what I mean? That was the one, and just having those moments, and then also just being immersed into like the Bay Area culture that also
That's so
surrounded
different, bro. I was gonna get into
sports,
that.
you know what
I
I
like
mean?
that.
Get into that, bro. The Bay Area culture, because we even know in Houston, Texas, or anywhere we go, LA, you come here. Oh, Bay Area got their own thing going on as well.
got our
you
own
know?
DNA for sure. It's
100%.
It's very special growing up in the hyphy movement.
Yeah.
Shout out Mac Dre and that whole energy that influenced the youth. We were the youth at the time, for better and for worse. You know, we got into a lot of fucking shit and we experimented with a lot of
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
But what was beautiful about that for the Bay, especially, it brought a lot of community and unity. We had something to like really put a stamp on, and yeah, I remember even just seeing, you know, the hyphy movement like highlighted on like 106 in Park for that
Yeah.
first time. That was a big deal for us, you know, and you know, until I started actually traveling and seeing the world and moving away, you know, you don't realize the mind frame you're in regards to being in the box. You know what I mean? So all I knew was Bay Area. You know what I mean? Before I moved to LA, maybe the farthest place I ever been was Vegas a couple times, like,
Damn,
you know,
that's
on
dope.
road trips, and that's it. One time on a cruise to Mexico with my ex-girlfriend, you know.
Okay.
But going back in regards to just growing up in the Bay, it was fun. It was reckless. It was before all this extra social media. Everything needed to be shown. We didn't care about none of that. You know,
good
and
time up there, huh?
It was super
Listening,
good
like-
times, and
That's tight.
you know,
I can
the
only
land of the
imagine.
sideshows.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the house parties were crazy,
Going down.
and like
They were having the takeovers there before LA, huh?
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't even know it was a takeover. It was just like another Friday, another Saturday, you know, and
It's normal over there.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
So,
So-
looking at that, I always wanted to ask you, how do you take that creativity from the Bay and bring it to LA and do your own thing? Because, like, how I look at you, like, I don't know where your creativity come from because you have your own aesthetic. I'm so super curious, bro. Does it come from the Bay?
yeah, of course. There's a lot of my lineage and roots are definitely back home, you know. And the Bay carries a lot of that DNA too, you know. We like just I was huge on leaving the nest as soon as possible, you know. So for me, like venturing off outside of just my parents' home was huge, and that's like, you know, we have something called BART. BART is Bay Area Rapid Transit System. It's
BART.
our
subway
train system, you
kinda,
know. So that's before we had a whip, before we had a car, we was on BART.
You're
you know?
darting on the BART.
And we was going to like distant lands to go like.
Oh, so you guys really use like the subway out there?
Yeah.
Because out here, like we have a lightweight
I
one,
know,
but it's not
I
like.
know. It's like
how far
it's
does it go?
such a different culture. But the BART is not like the subway in like New York, but it has its similarities. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But no, the BART was our ticket to be able to
That was the freedom.
meet new shorties and,
Yeah.
and like
Hey, baby, get on
to
the
house
BART.
party. And it caused a lot of trouble though, you know, like
That's BART.
a lot of other cities didn't fuck with other cities because of like very common till now, like because of girls
bounds.
and all that,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, we was out there and we brought that energy to wherever we went. But going back to what you're saying, like in regards to that Bay Area DNA and to how does that apply to what I got going on now? It's my Filipino heritage, right? Just growing up, that there's a big Filipino community back home in Daly City and in South San Francisco. So I think what happens at home is like, you know, very strong family values, you know, multi-generational homes. At one point, you know, being in my grandparents' house, it was like my family and my cousins and my other cousins, and
You
anytime
do got a big
somebody
family,
got
huh?
petitioned over from the Philippines, they're staying on the. We were stacked on each other, you know. So it was very much like get it how we can, but also making sure we look out for each other.
I like that. I feel like that kind
Yeah.
of experience growing up is like motivating.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could take it two ways. It could feel like heavy because it's like a big hill you have, and you see everybody like struggling, or you could see it motivating. Like, man, we out here, let's get it.
I
Like,
seen it as motivation, you
Yeah.
know. Like I always felt a little different in regards to I knew I didn't want to just do just the normal shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, even growing up in a household where like my dad, he was a postal service worker.
9 to 5.
Yeah, yep. But he was into 2Gs, guns and guitars. So
Yeah.
so growing up around that, it
That's
was just
sick.
like I was huge on like war history, and even my grandfather that lived with us. He was an ex-military war vet, fought in the
Damn,
Korean
that's dope.
War. In order to get my family here, like on my mom's side, it took him to come over
And
from
serve.
the Philippines
Yeah.
and serve, and then
Yeah.
slowly trickled everybody over.
That's
You know what I mean?
man.
He was the first generation. Go,
He
your
was-
dad's
he
the
was
first
one.
generation, right?
He was a G. He
He's
was the one to
brought
get
him.
us over.
See, that's crazy. That's
so-
like, yeah. That's
The American dream,
It
know.
is.
So I always
contribution,
always
like, for
admired
America.
that, to see that, and then going back to like my dad, like that music influence. So like I got my rap and hip hop influence from my older cousins at the time, just like we would be like running around the mission with them, and they'd be the first ones driving, and we'd just be jam packed in that car.
What was
You know what I
Pops
mean?
listening to?
Huh?
What was Pops listening to or playing?
My dad, Pops was on everything. He's still on everything. Like, shoot, anything from the Beatles to Stevie Ray Vaughan, Led Zeppelin to the Eagles, everything in between.
You grew up on that then?
I grew up on that. Like, a lot of that music I
Okay.
did not fuck with
Yeah,
until I was older.
And then you got a deeper understanding.
Yeah, and also I think what it is like when I'm at home, or no, what I realized was when I miss home, I try to bring home into the home I built here in
Gotcha.
LA. So now that like when I listen, like if I'm putting on the Beatles, it's like it's a piece of home.
It's
you know
nostalgic.
What I mean?
It takes you back there.
Putting on Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, Bob
That's
Marley,
dope.
all that. It's like that's all due to what we listen to on Sunday. Like on every Sunday, it's like Pops is cooking pancakes, or Mom's is cooking pancakes, making some Filipino breakfast or whatnot, and Dad is either cleaning his rifles on the
dope.
dining
Real
table,
American. I love that.
That's
or
dope.
playing the acoustic guitar while we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
watching like Sunday cartoons,
That's tight.
So
That's
it's
tight.
just me and my little brother at the time. So I, for a long time, for the first 10 years, it was just me.
Yeah.
And then my little brother came along, and so it was cool.
That's
It was
dope.
Super
cool.
nice upbringing,
dope.
bro. It's super
Yeah.
cool when you have like dope parents that love what they do. It kind of inspires you, especially their taste.
Yeah.
So that's a good taste. You don't understand at the time. You're like probably old people music right now.
I was like, shoot,
But you're like, I want to listen to some motherfucking hip hop right
Yeah,
here. You
yeah,
know what
I
I'm
was
saying?
like-
Every kid.
the
Where's
number
Mac
one
Dre
hip
at?
hop, the
I'm
number
same
one
way.
hip hop
Tupac.
like origin
Tupac.
moment I had was with my older cousins, jam packed. I'm talking about like maybe like a 89 or 91 like Toyota Tercel or Corolla or
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about like
Corolla,
8
like
of
the
us in
tiniest
there,
one?
you know?
Yeah.
And like we're
All
just
kids.
listening to the first like rap song I truly vividly remember when I was a kid was
Yeah.
Gin and Juice. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Bro, Snoop
And then we
Dogg?
just in there, just like in the car, everybody rolling around
Yeah,
the
yeah,
street,
yeah.
sipping on gin and juice, lay back. And I didn't know what gin.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
knew what
yeah,
juice was. I was
yeah.
like, okay,
I be drinking
Yeah.
juice.
I need some of that. I need some of that.
I
but
need some of
just
that
knew it was
juice.
cool, you know.
Yeah.
And then like the first actual rap CD I bought was Coolio.
Oh, that's crazy.
R.I.P. Coolio.
Yeah, yeah. Dangerous
Gangsta's
Minds or what?
Paradise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gang-
Dangerous Minds.
Yeah.
Watching that movie when I was young, I was
Yep.
like, damn, this is crazy. Is
Yeah,
that how it's gonna
that was
be
tight.
when I get to high school? You know? And then just remember listening to that song, I was like, man, this song is so gangster. And seeing them perform at BT or
Yeah,
wherever they
yeah.
performed.
I think Source Awards.
Yeah, when they had like
Yeah.
the big orchestra, it was like
Yeah.
super live. I was
Yeah.
like, man, this
Big
song
Source.
is crazy. Yeah, I remember me and the fam. My dad always made a reason, like when it was on his days off. Postal service, they're always off on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Dope.
you ain't
So you
getting
guys
mail on
barbecue.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So we would just take little mini trips around the city and the Bay, you know. But I remember we was in Berkeley. You know, Berkeley's huge on music, and going into the CD store and buying. That was my first one I bought.
Damn,
with
that's
some
dope.
like saved up lunch.
Shout
money
out
and shit.
Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg.
that's
Snoop Dogg's
dope.
everywhere.
Yeah, shout out Snoop.
But
Uncle Snoop.
looking at that, did you always want to be a barber? Were you
Nah.
going through that?
Hell no, I never thought I was gonna become a barber. Like, shit, I thought I was gonna be a lawyer.
No.
Like that's the
Lawyer.
first job. Like you know when you're a little like second grader and they say,
Yeah.
"What do you want to be?"
Yeah,
They
there
make
was
a lot of
10
money.
things. There was like 10 things to choose
I,
from.
like one, I knew they made a lot of money, and
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
I just be yapping my ass off. And I love to debate even when I was young, you know.
Okay,
So,
so you were
I was
like-
like, oh, this is perfect,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But that was like the little kid dream, and then as I got older, I truly honed in on my love for art and in any art form, you know,
Yeah.
in any medium. So from elementary all the way up until high school, shoot, before I even started cutting hair, like I was well on my way to like I knew I wanted to do something in the art field.
Creative,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
by the time I got to high school, I was also thinking to myself like, all right, and this is like when like I'm 36 now and I graduated 06. But yeah, around that time, early 2000s, that's when that buzzword of like graphic designer and graphic
Nice.
artist was
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it
That's
started
true.
really
Big
big.
before all this big
Yeah.
streetwear brands was really hitting the scene and like
yeah, there was no
Yeah.
streetwear yet.
Yeah.
They had urban.
My bad.
Urban wear was like
yeah.
like Sean John, Rockefeller,
Sean John,
Echo,
555 Soul,
Yeah,
them brands
555,
like LRG,
LEJ,
like
yeah.
you know what I
Early
mean?
brands.
But yeah, I thought I was gonna be some type of. I don't think I was gonna do anything like in like the fine art field, but I just knew, again from a young age, that in this life I gotta be able to
Do something
feed
like,
myself
yeah.
and make money somehow. So even when I was young, I was like, all right, I need to choose a career path that's gonna set me up to win. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even if it was art, I was like, all right, graphic design, graphic art, that's probably the way I'm gonna go. But getting back to what you're getting to, then something happened. Something happened. Like I ended up with some clippers in my hands.
Back again.
Yeah, and just to break that story down, like I told this shit a million times to everybody, but
You don't have to say if you don't want to say it.
No,
but
no.
You can say it though.
first time on the to be blunt.
We wanna know.
But yeah, it just was something that was out of necessity, really. You know, I was 13 years old. 13 years old. My mom just came home with a pair of cheap, like wall clippers from Target.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Wall.
she said, you are steady with your hands. You are, obviously into art and out of everybody, you probably could do it the best. So
crazy.
you're gonna start cutting up your whole family. You know what I mean?
No way.
So
You got the
started-
responsibility
yeah,
first.
It became a family chore. You know.
Damn.
So, and again, just going back to like
Mom's told you to do this.
That's
yeah how the house was set
I
up
like
again.
that.
My
That's traditional, right?
my mom
That's real
took in
traditional.
my mom took in my grandparents, you know?
Yeah.
So I was very blessed to have my grandparents living and also obviously helping my parents by watching over me and little bro and my other cousins that would come over and
Yeah.
So again back to that why it was important to bring that up is, there's my dad who was a U.S. Postal Service worker.
Yeah.
My grandfather, ex-military war vet, my little brother, and me. All of us, we all got the same cut, a number 2 buzz cut, a little taper, clean up.
Yeah,
We was
yeah.
just going to the little salon up
Yeah,
the street. Wasn't trying to get whopped, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And so just kept it simple, you know?
Yeah.
So my mom just seen that as like, and also I bring that up in regards to my dad and my grandfather. Like my dad always wanted to keep a clean cut because
Yeah.
he always had to keep that cap on and he was always the type to always keep a clean shave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
always like, damn, why you always shave your face so
Yeah,
much?
yeah.
You know, like now I realize like, dude, you shave, like I just shaved, but an hour ago I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
like, I had all this stubble,
Yeah,
you know,
it keeps
including
moving,
my scalp.
yeah.
And then my
Keeps
grandfather,
moving.
same thing. He was so GQ with it.
That's
And like coming from the military, he was always wanted to be clean, but also he was into like ballroom dancing and like always kept the suit on and always had his gold on and blah blah blah.
Player.
So
Yeah.
he
For
always,
sure.
and long
Like
story
that.
short, always want to keep it clean.
everything you're
So-
saying, like I'm envisioning it.
Yeah.
so
Yo,
with that
that's
being
dope.
said, we were essentially regularly getting haircuts, So
Yeah,
my mom
yeah.
seen it as like,
And you guys already did it a few times. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like
So she did the math. Like,
she
bro,
did the
we
math.
can do this.
Like we didn't come from like dead broke.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But lower middle class.
Yeah,
lower
yeah,
middle
yeah.
class.
Family was working
trying
hard.
to figure it out.
you could be
Every dollar
resourceful,
counts. Trying to be
yeah.
resourceful. Shout out my mom for that. And
Say.
she was like, "Here, you take these clippers rather than spending like, let's say, I think we're paying maybe like $7 to $12 a cut at the
Yeah.
time,
Back in the day.
Yep.
Every month, if we're saving a couple, like even $100
Yeah.
at the time,
Yeah.
shoot, that's a utility bill.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
The whole
groceries.
That's a
You
whole-
know,
Yeah, groceries
yeah,
for the week.
you used to be
back
able to go
then.
grocery
Yeah.
store and,
Yeah, that was the whole
spend
cart.
$100,
That was
and
the
you
whole
filling
cart.
that
Yeah.
motherfucker up. You know,
Yeah.
And more.
So yeah, long story short, I started cutting hair, and it was the first moment, for lack of a better word, is the first moment where, it was, what am I trying to say here? Love at first cut, for real.
For real.
Love
Who'd
at
you
first
cut? Who'd you cut first?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who was it?
It was my little brother, for sure. He was
Yeah.
the first, like guinea pig.
Yeah,
you
Bro
know
was
what I
like
mean?
this. Hey, better be careful with that. Did he
Yeah,
say
it
that?
was very much like bully style,
Yeah.
you know?
Same thing to him one time.
Yeah.
That's how you will never be a barber.
Yeah, it was like bully style, like stop moving. And like my little brother, shout out my little
Trying to
brother,
hold
man.
his hand,
Because
like-
I got the best little bro. He's always helped me. And I was
That's
just on the
dope,
phone with him
man.
earlier. We always checking
That's
in on each
dope.
other, man. But
Shut up, bro.
from little bro and then my dad and then my grandfather, it was one of those things where instantly it was love at first cut. Because one, as an artist, I just switched the medium rather than paint and pencil and canvas. It's
Yeah.
clippers and trimmers
Yeah.
and hair.
Line and angles.
But what really made me fall in love with it was the fact that I was at a very young age already helping my family
Yeah, that's
save money
yeah.
and also help my family stay groomed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the things that subconsciously, as a barber, I think still to this day, carries me through. You know what I mean? The artistry is beautiful. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
a fiend for this shit for real. Like I mean it. Like I really do love barbering. And with that being said, just seeing myself help my family, and then fast forward, that was like freshman going to sophomore year of high school, and then.
Yeah.
Like by senior year, I was again like fast forward. I was cutting up a bunch of people.
So
at
you were
school,
nice
You know what I mean?
by the time you got
I
to
was
senior
like,
year.
I was decent. I was
Yeah,
nice. Like
yeah.
from
No, you had to
okay,
be.
freshman to sophomore
'Cause I
year,
wasn't
sophomore
going
to
to
junior
nobody
year.
and- yeah.
Like those times.
Yeah.
It's like,
He said he was cutting the restrooms, cutting everybody up.
yeah, I
before
was cutting people in
everything.
art class. I was
Yeah.
cutting up
If you were cutting in,
some of the
like-
basketball homies.
Were you making money? Were you
had to be
charging them?
nice.
By
$5,
senior
$3
year,
bucks?
Yeah.
$5, you know, five
yeah.
bucks. But it's stacked up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all a crazy story about that. I don't think I publicly ever shared it, but a lot of people.
Well, we
do
got
know
a
the
to
story.
be Blake exclusive.
There was
Clip
this
this.
guy named Ronald Maldonado.
Damn,
Ronald
remember his name.
Maldonado.
Ronald Maldonado. This dude, I swear to God, he was like a super steroided out, buff, like construction worker dude. And
Yeah.
where we
In high
lived
school?
was no.
Oh,
so
okay,
this
okay.
is I'm
Somebody around the
gonna
way.
tell you where my first barbershop kind of got
Okay,
built.
okay.
So at the time, so my parents' house is like we don't have a house, we have like a townhouse community situation.
Okay, got you.
But where I live was there was like a main like small lobby hallway where like there's 2 units downstairs and then like 2 units where there's like upstairs. So it goes like 2 stairs like this,
Yeah.
and 2 downstairs units.
Yeah.
My unit was a downstairs unit, my family's unit, but there's like a small square where the lobby
a
was.
courtyard.
Yeah.
Not even a courtyard. It was just an indoor space.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Gotcha.
Like probably as like the space was as big as where the pod is. You know.
Okay, gotcha.
I bring that up because that's where my first place where I started cutting was in my parents' kitchen, you know, and I still to this day, every Christmas, every time I go home, every Father's Day, whatnot, it's like
Dang,
I cut the fam in the same exact spot.
Spot.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
That's dope.
it's
I
very
like that.
sentimental for me, you know what I mean? Little whether they even know it or not, but I make it a point that I get to feel
This is
that.
my spot
I'm
right
gonna
here.
cut you right here, you know?
This is where I
Yeah.
started.
But
That's tight.
after I graduated from there, I started cutting in that little lobby area,
Yeah.
and all my neighbors were fucking pissed because like I had all the homies coming over. It was like a block party outside my
Yeah.
shit.
They be
you know?
smoking, having a good time
Including-
talking.
The buff was
Ron-
seen roided out construction
Yeah.
worker
Ronaldo?
neighbor Ronald Maldonado.
Ronald Maldonado.
We used to call him Ronald McDonald. Shout out Ronald McDonald.
Ronald McDonald.
No, but for real though, this guy, he was like tough exterior. He would fucking get
Mickey.
mad. He would like guarantee he had Roy Race because he would get like he'd be like, "What the fuck, Julius? Like, you guys got you guys sitting on my stairs, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." So in that lobby, like, there's 2 small doors because for the upstairs units, they didn't have garage access. You had to go down and then into the garages.
Gotcha.
And all the garages were in the front, like 4 garages right in the front.
Yeah.
So he essentially just got like pissed off where he's like, bruh, you can't be like, bro, you're disturbing all the neighbors here. So his garage was empty. He never used it. You know what I mean? So he just, long story short, he gave me the garage. He gave me his garage.
Oh
So
shit, he was
like,
being productive with it. He wasn't trying to.
He was like, yo,
get
bro,
out of this space.
get out of here. I'm gonna help you out.
right
Just
here.
go inside the garage.
Good one.
Set it up.
Wow.
And bro, it was like,
blessing.
it was a blessing, bro, because
Blessing.
all he said was, because you have the garage and you have like a small driveway. He's like, all I ask, bro, is that when the mail drops through the garage slot,
Yeah.
just leave it at my door
Yeah,
and make
yeah.
sure no one parks on the driveway.
Yeah. Don't block it. Don't.
And shit, 90% of the time somebody was blocking the driveway, he would come out fucking pissed and heated, you know? But yo, shout out Ronald McDonald, aka Ronald
Hey,
McDonald.
is all the homies used to come in there? You used to cut them up.
Bro, yeah, fast forward, like, bro, I mean, shit. I was so busy, like, just chopping hair that, like, it was just a party every single time. And, like, shit, we was doing everything you could think of in there. You know what I mean?
You had an after party
It
too.
was-
I bet you
it was
used to
a
turn up in there
party.
too, huh?
I would be like, yo, I'll cut your hair. I need you to do is like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll cut your hair. Bring me some McDonald's. I'll cut your hair. You're fucking smart. Just like kind of
Yeah.
like fake funk. This homework for me.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the rest later.
Real one.
And then everybody else, if you can't help me somehow, give me $5.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yo, give me some trees. Give me whatever. You know, we'll
Barter
figure it out.
system. Yeah.
Bro, you were
shit.
making it happen at a young
Yeah,
age
like,
like
bro.
that.
Hood shit.
Yeah, so
At a young age,
yeah,
bro?
so from
Come
the
on.
outside, it was like, man, people would be blocking the driveways, and even my mom and everybody would be like, "Fuck, well, he's doing something productive." The moment I started making my own money, like honestly, for real, like come sophomore, junior year,
Yeah.
I told my mom, like, you don't gotta buy me shit no more. You know what I mean? Only thing I would ask for is like, you just cover me on like school supplies. But like
Okay.
if I wanted
Anything
shoes
additional,
or anything
you
like
take care of
that.
it.
First thing I ever bought with my money was a gold grill.
Oh.
Yeah.
Again, growing up
A
in the
lower one or
Bay,
top one or bottom one?
Tops.
Yeah.
Tops. Shout out Mr. Bling Bling in San Francisco. Very legendary spot. Anybody from the
Oh,
Bay
that's sick.
around those times, y'all know Mr. Bling Bling. Before all the big Instagram Julius
yeah.
and everybody.
Before Johnny Dang?
Yeah, before all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Mr. Bling Bling was holding it down for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that shit was
Would you be
That shit was
wearing
crazy.
it when you be cutting people?
I'm pretty sure I was,
That's
bro.
a
I
vibe.
never took
That's
it
a
off.
vibe.
You
Like,
never took it off?
Bro, that's
I
a
remember-
vibe.
I remember,
Go get
like,
a cut, like
just
the
wearing
homie.
that shit, getting so high that like you just fall asleep with just your grill on, you know?
Hey, then you had to
Oh,
wash it the
wow.
next day because you've been smoking with
Gunky.
it.
Gunky,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
That's what I did when I was younger, bro. I had a grill and I used to play football with it.
Yeah.
At my gold grill, it was
savage.
6 tops,
Yeah.
diamond cut, and it said Jules.
Yo,
Yeah,
you gotta find a picture. of it.
Before
I need to
before
find it.
ASAP had it, you had it,
You gotta
huh?
find a picture.
yeah. And then like, just going back to gold grills and like the influence it had in the Bay. Period. Obviously, I know like in the South and everyone else, like gold grills was huge in New York and all
Yeah,
that. But back home in the Bay, shit, seeing everybody, you know,
Yeah.
everybody that we listened to,
Yeah.
whether it was, you know, every which way or form, everybody wanted gold grill. We was all
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah.
Fuck, like just slugged up.
Slugs.
And
yeah,
like
go
we always
slugs.
just like put it on our ear right here and just going like I remember starting every day in high school too. Like we would go 7-Eleven, get a fucking Monster. Remember those ones where you twist the cap and it would go.
Yeah.
So we get one of those and a Black and Mild, and like it was huge. It was huge in like in the Bay because it's cold. You know, it's a foggy city and shit. So everybody
yeah.
was
Monster and
huge
a
on
Black
like
and Mild
pea
was
coats. You know,
fucking menacing.
Sailor pea coats always had our beanie flipped up and
That's a vibe,
smoking
bro.
on a black and mild with our gold grill, which is fucking disgusting to think about, and drinking
Yeah.
a monster to just fuck with that head high
Yeah.
before class. And then I guarantee all our teachers probably were like, "You guys stink."
Yeah, like with some
Smell
of my
like
classroom.
everything, bro.
Yeah.
Black and mild and weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the
That's
first thing I ever
dope.
bought with my barber money was a gold grill.
When did you first start smoking? When was the first time ever? Do you remember?
First time smoking, like
Weed.
it was in high school. It was
In high
definitely in high school. It was like when I knew I was avidly smoking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do remember one time, like I think it was like the 5th grade or some shit.
So every one of my friends, bro.
Yeah, but I remember one of the neighbors. I was go kicking it with one of the neighbors. This before we lived in our South City house. You know
at
what I mean?
that location,
This
okay.
was in Daly City on Sylvan Street, and
Yeah.
back then, like Sylvan was kind of like again lower middle class again, and it was like man that apartment complex I lived on was this manny, you know.
Yeah.
But again,
In Daly.
same were the kids that were running around with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember I went with them. They're like older kids.
The
too.
older kids always.
And I was like, again, like I said, I was always about that adventure, like let's
Yeah,
go.
let's
Like,
go,
where
let's
we're
go.
going. I didn't know where we were
Yeah.
going, but all I knew is was inside one of the neighbors, homies, friends, whatever
Yeah.
room. But I just remember leaving, and before I left, they sprayed hella like curve
Yeah,
on me,
yeah.
and also that I was just super hungry and sleepy.
Yeah,
you know,
stupid
That
hungry.
right when I got home, I just demolished my family's cooking, whatever they made,
yeah.
and I went straight to sleep. So I bring that up. I said I think the first time I actually at least bare minimum got contact high was probably like 5th grade, but definitely in high school I was rebellious. I know
That's
my
tight.
mom's probably gonna end up watching this.
Shout out, Mom.
She know,
You raised a great one.
knew.
She
Now
see
that
me
we're older,
get
I'm
caught
like,
up on hella shit.
yeah.
Like me and my best friend,
Yeah.
we both got like shit arrested together right in front of her and
Really?
in front of
your
her
mom?
and his
in front of
dad.
mom.
Was
and,
you
like,
crying?
Yeah, like she found my stash and like left a note there and like
No.
just put everything.
She left
down
your
the
note and
toilet.
she didn't take your
I'm
stash?
like, no,
Money,
my money.
MJ,
You know?
Yeah.
Me too, bro.
So-
Shoebox.
But she was a real one though, because for a few times I did get in trouble, like
Yeah.
with the law and all that.
Yeah.
It was she always had my back.
Yeah,
She always had my
same,
back. Made
same.
sure I was cool and
Yeah.
I didn't get into too much crazy trouble.
Yeah.
It was always something that like at the end of the day was a slap on the wrist. If anything, I seen it as a learning lesson.
Yeah, that's good.
You know,
That's good.
But yeah, that's
Different lives.
Yeah.
Yo,
Most of
that
the lives.
garage. Have you been back to that garage space? Is it still there?
And somebody else lives there now. But yeah, again, that same house.
It's
it's
still-
the same.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I've been in that house since like 8th grade. So
You gotta go back to that space, and we gotta do like a shoot in there.
yeah, I
It'll be
wish.
hard,
I wish.
From the start, from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, any of us could relate to this. Times are changing, and like back home in the Bay, a lot of the things we grew up on and we loved they're disappearing.
Yeah,
They're gone.
they're not
They're
there.
like,
That's why
my
I'm
barber
asking,
college
'cause,
burned
like-
down. Like
Yeah, that's true.
I remember when I first
Yeah.
moved here, I made a big point that like when I went home, I just tried to tap in
Yeah.
with everybody, and that was huge for me, like to make sure that like I kept my circle still close, But I remember going like when I found out like the barbershop didn't exist anymore. I mean, no, I'm sorry, the barber college I went to didn't
Yeah,
exist
yeah.
no more.
Where'd you go to barber college?
It was called Bayview Barber College. If you guys know about Bayview Hunters Point is like one of the most
Yeah.
craziest
The
places
trenches.
to put a barber college. And I wasn't from there.
It was a pristine barber college.
With pristine.
Like, is it like a dope barber? I don't know what a barber college would be like.
No, it was definitely well respected. There was 2 barber
Okay.
colleges. There was Bayview Barber College and 6th Street Barber College. It's like
Bayview?
you even went to one of them.
Hold it for the trenches.
Yeah. I was like,
the
I definitely
trenches.
had my limited hood pass by going there because
Go straight there.
I was the kid coming from South City, Daly City that was
Yeah.
going to school at Bayview
Okay.
at Barber College.
Yeah.
Let me back this story up a little bit. Let me back this a little bit. So before I ended up in it wasn't like a straight direct road from me wanting to go to barber school. Like even when I was cutting hair.
Yeah.
Like I graduated when I was 17 years old. I had good grades. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I graduated
Genius
like
Jewel.
3.6 or something. You know, I could have went to
sick.
like college and shit, but I just knew that I didn't want to be in debt.
You wanted to be the creative end.
And I was already touching money. You know, I was already
true.
touching
That's
money.
true.
So
You already got the feel.
yeah. And I always had the gift of gab. At least I feel like. So
yeah.
the moment
Gift
I
of
could get a
what?
job, like get the gab, like that's like
you got a mouthpiece. You can
yeah,
speak.
yeah. So
Like you're articulate. You can
you guys ever heard of a store called Against All Odds?
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I worked in the store. It's like a streetwear store.
Okay. Like a Zoomies back then or something.
But more lit. They're like you had like
Yeah.
Jabot, like all the dope brands, LRG and
Yeah.
Nietzsche, Academics, all those brands at the time. You know what I mean? I wish there was a Stussy there. But like all those brands were there. And I was just in that store because I wanted to get a discount, you know? And working there, I went from like being really good at sales to already, they already kind of seen my vision with like my aesthetic and how
You do have aesthetic to you, bro.
I was already doing like visual merchandising. Like
See, that's- yeah.
at like 16
Yeah.
and 17, just like in the store working and
Yeah.
like they
Like,
had me
this
in
don't
charge
make
of
sense. Let's do this.
they had me in charge
Yeah.
of the Jabot section, you know? So I remember just like stacking all those Jabots and forming
Making
them
them all
all
nice.
crazy and shit. And I bring that up because that was the first place I worked at before I turned 18. That was like a real job.
Yeah.
But all the time, the people that are getting money were all the cell phone salespeople.
Oh, yeah.
In the mall, you know.
All the Nextel shit.
Yeah, yes. At the
the
time, it was like
crazy.
Singular and all
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
I worked in this mall. It's a very legendary mall back home in Daly City called Ceremony.
Okay.
Ceremony.
Land of the titos and the titas.
The
You know what I mean?
titos and the
They're all
titas.
they're just
Crazy.
lapsed in there. You know what I mean? But that's the mall I was in, but those cell phone salespeople would always come in. Like every time I knew it was a check, they already knew like, yo, Jules,
Oh,
I need to
they
put
straight
you.
there.
So I was already like,
Got you.
putting them on and like, all right, you should get this, you should get this. I already set aside this new LRG, da da da.
Yeah.
And they were just fucking with me in regards like, damn, you got a mouthpiece for real. Like the moment, like pause.
Yo.
Big pause. But he said, whenever you turn 18, if you want a job here,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So right when I turned 18, again, I already decided from high school that I wasn't going to go to college.
Yeah.
But I also didn't know what I was going to do because
Yeah.
I was just doing barbering like on the side. It was just a hobby still.
Yeah.
But you wanted to do something dope in your life.
Yeah, I honestly, I was like, okay, sales is my shit. I thought I was going to go into real estate. You know, like
Got you.
actually
Got
become a real estate agent. and
That
all
was in your
shit.
mind then. What
Yeah,
thing took
that's
you another
just what
thing though?
leaded. So from there, right when I turned 18, I went to work at what was it at the time, Singular.
Okay.
I mean, so I did like
that
the little
thing with the yellow
training.
man.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got
Yeah.
bought out by AT&T.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
So I went to the little training that he sent me to, and I did that shit. Boom. But the moment I had my first day, on the job, my general manager,
First day.
that motherfucker was cold. You know what I mean? He was just like, hey, everything you learned at the training,
Yeah.
that's standard, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna show you how to really get money. You know what I mean? Like, like in regards to like
Yeah.
how to really,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna make
What
you
you
to a
need to do here
sales
to be
monster.
successful.
You know?
He was trying to be. He was
So-
trying to be an OG right there.
Yeah, man.
It's cool.
Talk to BT. BT came from sales too, and cell phone sales. Like
Oh,
a
way.
lot of
Damn.
dope
Like you
people
were
that
given the
did
tools.
sales
Yeah.
touched like cell phone sales.
That's
you have to
fucking
be
dope.
okay. Let me put this perspective. I wasn't just in the store. I was one of those motherfuckers in the booth in the middle of the mall. That's like trying to.
Hey, get your.
Come pop
Hey, I
at
got
you,
something
you know
for
what
you.
I mean?
Look good with you.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, you got a broken charger. I'm gonna try to convince you to get 5
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
You know.
Damn.
So
Real learn.
I was there to like I launched the first iPhone. I did all that,
Sick.
you know. So, but I learned a lot of how good and bad customer service was. You know, people yelling like, "Oh, I got this $850 activation bill," and trying to find a way to waive it. You know,
Yeah.
and working on the phone with customer service. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was all going down. And then at some point, I really wanted to move forward with my life and my career.
You want to do that forever, huh?
Unfortunately, in that time, I fucked around with like weed and started trying to push that shit around.
Yeah.
I got caught up, you know. I got caught up and I just kept it G. Like when I got caught up, I had like this is that time like before all this beautiful, amazing packaging and branding of weed. Like we still had
What kind of
candy
weed
apple baggies, you know.
What kind of weed was it? Like, was it super reg?
Nah, hell nah.
Was it brick weed?
Back home in the Bay, we had that.
Oh, you
fire.
had the gang. You had the gas.
That purple, that you know,
Nice.
the good shit. But
Forever, huh?
yeah, for sure.
Humboldt right there in the beginning. Then
Yeah,
it started
I
going
mean,
crazy. in
shoot,
the
I
Bay.
grew up on like real like
Up north.
train wreck, Granddaddy Purple. You know, if to us at the time it was like if it wasn't purple, we didn't want to smoke it. You know.
Yeah, that was that era.
When I first came to California, I knew the Bay had great weed. Then
Yeah.
LA took the culture with the indoor later on, 2015, 16, 17, coming on.
So when all that was happening, like unfortunately I got caught up. You know,
Yeah.
I caught a little case or whatever. But that shit fucked me up because I was moving my way out of working at cell phone sales, and I was out. Same thing that happened to me at Against All Odds
Yeah.
happened to me while I was working at the cell phone spot, where these people that are buying phones from me, they're like, "Damn, bro, you're really good at this."
Yeah, yeah.
They
Like,
fuck with you
yeah.
too.
If you really, if you
Relationships.
ready, like I could get you a position working at like
Somewhere else.
at car sales. So I was like, oh, this
okay.
is perfect. This is a graduation,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
if I do good in
Leveling
car
up.
sales,
Yeah.
I'll be able to sell houses at
Yeah,
some point, you know.
yeah.
So a case happens, boom. And around this time, this is now around the recession of the time. Like,
Oh, okay, so
that,
like
08,
08,
09
yeah.
recession.
Recession hits, huh?
Recession is looming, you know? And I got that little case. I'm trying to figure out what's next. I'm applying. I apply, I think, I first tried Mercedes-Benz. They weren't fucking with me. Then Lexus and Toyota, they shared a lot, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Same
obviously
company.
they're the same thing. But
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm down for any of them.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so every time I went through the interview process on both of them, I would get past the first interview, the second interview. Come time for the third interview, my paperwork has already gone through.
That they see
and
the
The background checking you.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a drug-related charge,
Yeah.
we can't hire you.
Yeah.
You're great, but
Yeah.
we can't hire you. I'm like,
You're like, fuck.
fuck. So this has really put me in a big fork on the road.
Yeah.
I moved out when I was 17. So at this point, I'm out the house, you know? I needed to figure out, what am I going to do? Am I going to end up going home with my tail tucked? Or am I going to really just figure out the
Sink or
play?
swim.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
sink.
So
Time to risk it all right here, huh?
yeah, it was like, at one point, I even thought to myself, like, shit. I even asked my dad, I was like, can you get me a job at USPS?
Yeah.
And I really just sat back with
Julius
myself.
at
I'm like,
USPS right now, walking around with a mailbox.
this ain't me. At one point, I even thought, like, okay, maybe I'll just go back to school. And yeah.
I did that shit night.
No,
UPS.
Oh, UPS. USPS. But yeah, same shit. I was
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
for any of that.
Logistics.
Graveyard shift, packing up boxes on the FedEx.
Yeah.
on the-
that's just miserable. Anyone that did that.
Yeah.
With this all going on, I was like, shit, okay, maybe I'll go back to school. I even thought about, like, man, maybe I'll just follow the Filipino path and do something in, like, the nursing field. You know what I mean?
Healthcare. Yeah.
Oh, everything was
But
going
yeah,
through your
maybe
mind.
this is my
Okay,
way.
yeah.
Nurse Jules.
Yeah.
But what it came down to, push comes to shove, I went from making, at the time, subjectively amazing money for being young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on paper paycheck money from doing cell phone sales. Like,
Yeah.
like thousands of paychecks sometimes. You
Yeah,
know, like, whoa.
yeah.
I was the one paying for the hotels to throw the telly parties.
Oh, yeah,
and
telly.
I was buying whips already. Like I own, like, I had two Monte Carlos. I had a 86 and an 87. You know what I mean?
Fire.
T-top. But it came down to this one little minor incident, just getting fucking in trouble.
Yeah.
Changed the trajectory of my life. And I was a fork in the road. I'd made two decisions to make. It's like, I either wanted to go to barber college since I've been doing this shit
Yeah,
already,
yeah. Because you knew you were nice at that.
or I was gonna be on some like real big fuck you type shit, and I was gonna go to a program, a cannabis college called Oaksterdam.
Oh shit.
So Oaksterdam was in Oakland.
Oaksterdam OG.
Yeah, and I thought I was gonna want to go there, and I really wanted to get in hydroponics. I just went indoor and hydroponics and all that. I
didn't even know
man,
that existed
I
back
wanted
then.
to nerd out at the time. You know, I was
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know what?
yeah.
I'm gonna blow up so big in this weed shit
yeah.
that it's gonna. This little incident is gonna be the reason why I do
Yeah,
blow up
yeah,
in this.
yeah.
Dope.
But then, honestly, I also was trying to be smart. I was like, I'll try to be safe. Of like, look, all right, I already got a good thing going with this
Yeah,
barbering.
yeah, yeah.
So
You don't want to fuck it up.
I
You had
decided, you know what, I'm
momentum
gonna
in
go.
it,
I'm gonna go to Barber College. Ended up at Bayview. I
That was
I
a fork in the
decided
road.
to sell the Monte Carlo I had at the time. That shit hurt. Like it. It was,
That was your shorty
it was
getter.
my prized
That's your
possession.
shorty getter.
That's when like you bet on yourself. Mm-hmm. Those
I
are
let
those
the
big
whip.
moments.
Like
Yeah.
I went from making good money, living on like living outside and trying to have my own place.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had a girlfriend at the time.
Nip did that too. What happened to him? That happened to Nip
The
as
Lincoln.
well.
Sold the
He had
Lincoln.
to sell that. He had to sell the Rolly, get the studio equipment at that time.
Yeah, so
You
so
went
I
through the
did
same
that.
thing.
I did that. I sold my beloved Monte Carlo, took that money, put it towards Barber College.
Invested
I
in
had
yourself
one of my
like that.
cousin-in-laws help fund me too. You know what I mean?
Dope.
So there
Shout
was
out family.
I definitely had a support system.
Yeah.
And I also decided, like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and move back home. I moved back home for that short amount of
Yeah.
time. Went to Barber College. I downsized my flashiness of whips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the last whip I had in Barber College that was fly was this like gangster ass fucking '94 Cadillac
Yeah.
DeVille with peanut
Yeah.
butter leather, TVs in the back seats.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
You're all into cars to this
Yeah.
day, huh?
Yeah, and I ended up giving that shit to, or I sold it to the owner of the Barber College. to knock off the paper.
crazy.
You can sell
know?
anything.
And-
They
and-
should have hired you at the car dealership.
Yeah, so I was like, shit, I did that, and then I just ended up getting some like, I just had a regular whip.
Yeah.
All the way up until I moved to LA. So
That
was
dope.
that. Like
That's
I know
dope.
we're
Right
going
after
super
Barber College, you came to
extended.
LA?
yeah.
So
Wait,
so
right after Barber College, you moved to LA or what?
no. So I went through Barber College, blah blah blah. Did all that type of shit. Was broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Was back at home.
You're doing paying dues.
Boom.
You were like, all right.
Still at my parents' house at this
Yeah.
time. I definitely had a girlfriend who was super supportive, you know? And at one point, I decided, okay, I have my license. I ended up getting into a barbershop where I got to work right next to my best friend since the 5th grade. Shout out Junior.
Oh, sick.
He's still a barber now and
Dope.
still doing his
Nice.
thing back home in the Bay. And I made some great relationships and homies
Yeah.
at that shop. Shout out Fresh Cuz Daily City. And I just knew once I hit my 1 year mark,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do 1 year here in the Bay. And then I definitely, I'm ready to venture off. I'm ready to venture
You had a
off.
strategy,
I want to go
like,
to
alright.
New York, to be honest. Never been to
That
New York.
was in your
All I-
mind, New York.
New York, I was like, big city. If I don't make it here, I don't make it anywhere.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really truly held me back was there's something called, I'm probably gonna butcher this word. It's called reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Essentially, you can't reciprocate your license state by state.
Got you,
Oh.
got
So
you.
my license was only a California license.
So you had
to
That
re-get
if
one
I
in
had
New
to
York.
go to New York, if I wanted to go to
Start
New
all
York,
over.
I would have to do the whole program. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Equally, I loved LA.
Yeah.
Palm trees, good weather,
Yeah.
beautiful women. It's always in the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Women, weed, and weather.
All that, yeah. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna move to the Bay. I made that. I moved to LA. I made that announcement. I probably threw like at least 10 going away parties. So the last one, they're like, bruh, are you
Just go.
going or
You're
not?
like, what day is it? You're like, I don't know, but I'm gonna be end up there.
Yeah.
Party number 6. Bro, you just gotta leave.
The boy who cried, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, no, they're like, I'm going. But
They're like, hey,
I was
get
like-
out of here.
I
I'm
was
gonna keep pitching into this party, you still here.
I was able to.
42 people show up.
I was able, like damn near. Like, I think one of my last ones was just like at like
You're like this week.
Yeah.
No one came aboard. You're gonna go.
So the last one was like what?
Yeah, because at this point, when I was moving to LA, like this is fast forward now, I'm the 21 going 22, you know?
Okay.
So I was of legal age. So I was able to throw the parties at like clubs and bars.
Yeah.
And also with all the fuckery I was into, I was already going to like 18 and ups like before I was 18. You know, I was helping my homie who was a DJ.
You're hearing the Barts
a few times, like throwing his a house party. You know, just helping him set up, and I would just go mob with him. You know, shout out my boy Marcus, DJ Marcus Lee, and I was just in that scene already, and he started DJing at these the big clubs I was out there with my homie Anthony, and he was throwing these parties called Tonic Live, and it was like dope 18 and ups, and then finally when I turned 21, I already had maybe like 3 21st birthdays, because every time I was 18, 18th birthday was like my 21st birthday, 19th birthday was like 21st birthday, you know? So
taking advantage of the
long story
spaces.
short, I really did what I needed to do back home. At least that's what I felt.
Get out of here, Jules.
I was like, I need to go see the rest of the world. And I have
You ran it
nothing
up
holding
already.
me back. And if not, home is here. I have a strong support system at home, a mom and dad and family that fucks with me super heavy.
Yeah.
I'll be good. But yeah, I ended up taking my talents out here to LA. You know what I mean?
And you met so many great people, made dope relationships. Like, bro, I came out here, I was like, I'm gonna surround myself with the dopest people of the dope people. You feel me? And I'm so glad I got to connect with somebody like you. You know what I mean? But one thing it is, bro, going through all of that and coming and doing your cutting hair in LA and everything, you made so many different relationships. Like you were saying, your resume speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
And you also became a brand yourself. You know what I mean? Started doing different things. And the other day you were talking to me about like, hey, I have to go set up this shoot, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Big
you
boy
own this.
shoes.
You own this. Or you're part of this brand called Statement, right?
Yeah.
Statement Goods.
Statement Grooming Goods. Yeah.
Statement Grooming Goods. Can you talk about it? It's so dope, bro. First time I ever met you, you gave me Statement products.
Yeah.
And I used to
That's
have them at
hard.
my crib, and I used to be like,
It's a hard name.
Jules said,
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Statement is a brand that is kind of like a stamp to the barbering industry of me trying to do my part of carrying it on my back. You know, whether the whole industry wants me to or not, I carry it like wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? And this Statement is kind of like one of my love letters to the game. That like, hey, look, we was able to. Hey, I got us through the big boy doors, the corporate doors. You know what I mean? Where we were never supposed to be at, where they never wanted us.
They weren't checking for you.
Come on.
We've always been the underdogs. They always wanted to give us a little corner in the back of the shows. And now we on the big stage. So
Louis Vuitton fashion shows.
Yeah. Like, again,
Wild, bro.
let the numbers speak, you know?
Bro, that's the highest level.
no, his
Like, it's the
his brand from his from all of his Statement Goods, they put him in the stores and give him a small shelf, right?
Yeah.
So now they're everywhere on top shelves. Kyle used to be asking you, how are they doing? They're like, they're picking up. We're about to relaunch on this thing.
Yeah.
Now you've been going through it. So what's
It's a forever, I think,
growing?
barbering industry and being a barber and the lifestyle around it is a forever proving ground. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't end up becoming barber. I mean, it's different now. Like the youth, and there's a lot of super motivational people that come from the game, and all humble respects, including myself, that inspired a lot of the kids that say, you know what, instantly from a young age they want to become a barber. You know,
That's
but
cool. Yeah,
from my generation and before, there was a lot of us that ended up becoming a barber not because we wanted to, because we needed
paid the
to.
bills.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
where
when I
life
went to
took you.
barber college,
Yeah.
shit, everybody in barber college was like, shit, ex-parolees. They're just in there like as like part of their program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like they ain't got nothing. They can't get hired
So
anywhere else.
similar to like tattoo artists. Like it was a lane where like if you had a rough background, you
Yeah.
could make something of yourself, be professional, have your own situation.
Exactly. So
You just got to put in the work and.
so that whole story, like I always tell people, like when I talk about statements, like I'm trying to tell a story, try to tell a story through statement. Like choosing the name statement is like
The big
it's
statement.
very strong. Just like y'all were like Big Chief. Like I was
biggest.
telling you, I don't know if it was you or your brother, but I was like, hey, like you can't choose a name like that and
You
not
told me
try to push pedal to the metal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So same thing. It's like if I'm gonna stamp my name, and I held off for a long time from like wanting to create a product for real, like where literally my signature is on it, you know, alongside my other co-creators as part of the brand. But like I was like, hey, I'm usually the one, like I don't want to say the Debbie Downer, but like when it's time for the meetings, I'm really pushing against the pavement because that's. Not only is that I'm not carrying my name, but I'm carrying this whole barber industry here. I can't make this shit look fugazi at all.
Yeah.
So
If you don't use it,
you got to make a
don't put it
statement.
out,
It's like
you know?
we didn't say, oh, we're gonna make a product. No, we want to make a statement
That you can stand behind. That's something that.
what I always try to say
you're
is like
proud of.
it's our vision in tangible form. You know what I mean?
Sick.
So being able to get those products out to the rest of the world and being able to literally put it into a package and let everybody experience what it is to be in our world, in my world, and what we got going on. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite product was the beard oil.
Man, that was our first product.
For sure.
That beard oil hit instantly.
That beard
I
oil
think
was different, bro. I need it.
GQ picked it up first,
No
like
way.
one of like product of the year or something, like
No
instantly
way.
first year. You know what I mean?
Damn.
That beard oil,
So,
I don't know who did that. That
instantly.
beard oil
GQ is the Bible.
I was at home,
Yeah,
rubbing it
yeah.
into my beard,
Men's
going out. I'm like,
grooming,
damn, this
men's
all
grooming.
hitting right now.
Yeah, bro.
So super duper proud and happy of that. But you know, there's so much more to go.
So
like
dope, bro. Proud of you.
20 plus years doing this shit, like it's way past barbering to me. Like I see barbering as like, the vehicle that drives me to these places and destinations to meet everybody else. But I have so much more other shit I want to do, whether it's in fashion, art, design. I love building immersive spaces and experiences, and the barbershop is just like a major example of that. But you know what I mean? So like even in conversation, I think there's a lot that comes around of like the experience of a conversation. You know what I mean? That's super important. I think that's why like podcasts are doing such great things at this point. And
Me and you
people
are really
super
on-
curious.
Yeah.
The human nature is to be nosy as fuck. Everybody want to do what everybody doing. So if you could put it in front and make it organized and talk like this, it's like shit. People are interested. You know, even though I told these stories like 1,000 times, there's an audience that has
Just
never
heard of it. Never.
heard it
For
and
sure.
then,
It's
like,
experience.
and then so forth. There's people in my audience that's like wants to know what's going on with the people I'm around. You know what I mean? So
And they can see your personality, and like they can see through every single thing. And instead of like behind a haircut, like okay, that's a haircut, that's a picture.
Yeah.
But they be like, okay, this motherfucker cool. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, look, bro, I came on this pod. I didn't know what to expect. I told you the things I don't want to talk about and shit. But also, you know, like, I'm here to be here on film. I don't want to make it too serious, too. You know, like, like, yo, I'm a barber. I love being a fucking barber. I'll never stop. I never worked a day in my life, and I'll never see myself retiring because I really love this shit. But there's a lot of other stuff I want to do. I have a great foundation at home, and I love the Bay, and it's forever gonna be hometown. But LA definitely took me in with open arms, and she like I see LA like a woman. She's a beautiful motherfucker, and everybody wants her, and everybody's trying to get her. But you know, LA had her eyes on me, and she held me down. So I'm very much a California kid, and it's not called New York dreaming. It's not called London dreaming, Paris dreaming, Tokyo dreaming. I love all those places. You know what I mean? But it's called California dreaming for a reason, and that's I think that's the reason why. No matter all the wild shit that's happening out here and how everybody feels about this, that, and the third, California is the ultimate postcard city, and I carry that on my back. So yeah, let's talk about some other shit. Though.
I got you. Hey, so look, check this out. I always looked at you when I first started coming to getting a haircut. When I looked through your page, right, I started seeing that you were doing people's hair with dyes and different cuts. And then I would be like getting cuts by you. And then every single week I would be on social media. I'd be like, holy shit! I know Jules did this. I would come in. I'd be like, hey, you did this, right? He goes, yeah, I did that.
Damn.
Like, you know what I mean? Can I say some of the people's names?
Of course.
So I was like looking at J Balvin's, right? One day I'm
J
like, when he
Balvin,
did the
yeah.
shoe
Fancy
drop.
way to say it, huh?
Yeah, I know. He's gonna like that.
When he did the shoe drop with the shoe, the Nike
the
shoe.
Jordan? Yeah.
And he did the hair for him, and then
Was it the colorful one?
Well, yep,
Like the
he's
first
the one that did that.
Well, so So when Balvin did the Jordan 1, he hit me. That was the first time I linked up with Balvin.
Oh, sick.
I think. Yeah. And we put the blonde flames on him for that Jordan 1. And then after that, the Jordan 2 came out with the clouds.
Yeah. The big
Yup.
blue,
And
sky
then
blue.
we did the clouds on his head
Yeah.
for that one. So yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
Insane art to art. You know what I
Insane.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's insane.
And what's crazy is like, and I really mean this, like, I'm not chasing no tail when it comes
Yeah,
to that. Like, I
yeah.
really mean, like, I let the work speak for itself. Like, I was already in communication with Balvin. Like, yo, shout out Balvin one time. Like,
yeah.
he always
out
showed
Balvin,
love. Like,
man.
especially when I was starting to
He's
show
a
my
really
art
nice
and all
guy.
that. He
Really
like
nice.
always
Cool as fuck.
would like just DM like, yo, my G, this is fresh. One day we're gonna have to link. Finally, we
Got it
did,
linked.
you know. And I'm like, shit. It was never me like, hey, bro,
Yeah,
yo, fucking,
yeah.
like, yo, let me.
It was organic. It was super organic.
Organic as hell, and that was super dope. You know, to be able to experience that for such momentous moments with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like J Balvin.
Yeah, because he was chasing that moment for years.
Yeah.
And you were part of the history.
Yeah. That's
You know?
huge, bro.
So to be part of that was crazy. And I remember when I did the hair, I actually did 2 hair colors that day. I did his and I did Tiny's. And Tiny's a massive
Tiny's fucking dope.
producer.
Yeah.
In all aspects
Yeah,
in music.
yeah, he's fucking
but
dope.
at the time I didn't even know who he was.
No,
so I
for real?
ended up so it was Balvin and his team, and Tiny was over, you know?
Yeah.
And then Balvin was like, yo, do you mind doing Tiny's hair too? I was like,
Yeah.
shit, all right, hell yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
But while Balvin was processing with the bleach, I started doing Tiny's hair, and we were just playing Mario Kart, bro. Just making shit. Like, this is crazy. I'm sitting there like undertones in my mind, like, this is crazy. Like, this is really my life, you know?
This is a
But
regular Tuesday.
I really don't really come at somebody like, oh, shoot, I'm with da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
you know, it's
yeah.
like,
Never.
You know, one thing I heard from like an OG when I first came out here was like, yo, you treat a celebrity like a celebrity, they're gonna treat you like a fan.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So if you treat a man like a man, you would hope that they'll treat you the same way.
Yeah.
So I kind of carried that same energy when I came down. Like, yo, everybody's human.
Wow.
Everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their successes. Come correct. You're going there on a professional level.
Yeah.
Do so. You know.
Yep.
So even with the way I present myself when I pull up, I'm like, oh, I'm cool with this person. I could come in sweats and not give a fuck
yeah.
and shit. You know, like. I want to pull up, and it has to, like, you see my gram, you see how that stamp looks like.
Yeah, the
so when I
aesthetics.
pull up, it got to
You're
match
providing
too,
it,
you know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
even, like, not to say I need to come all dressed up to when I go do your hair,
Yeah,
but I want to
yeah.
look clean. You're
They want
looking
that
at me as, like, a
experience, too.
connoisseur of
Yeah,
clean and
yeah,
style. Like,
yeah.
you got to present that.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to go to, you know, a car dealership, and you seen
Yeah.
the one dude, he looks like he just came from from
Yeah.
court, or you see somebody just really tailored up, I'm going to go spend my money with the
Yeah.
person that's,
You
For
don't want to
sure.
buy a wagon
That's like
with somebody in
that's
sweat.
like going to the, like you said, like
Yeah.
going to damn, you're fighting a case and your lawyer walks in and he's all slouchy. You're
Yeah,
like,
like-
oh fuck,
yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
So same thing.
The
It's
same
like,
thing
oh
experience
man,
Same
I want.
feeling.
Yeah.
Or like you see like my
Hopefully I
work
get
and
the
myself
feeling.
on the ground, but then I pull up looking like this looks insane, you know? So like even like the little things I do, like, oh man, I'm gonna make sure like I'm not just gonna get a regular barber case.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up in a Ramoa, you know? I'm
Yeah,
gonna make sure
yeah.
that like damn, when they pull
Yeah.
like, damn, you pulling up like that.
Yep.
All my aesthetic is there. I make sure
Yep.
all my stuff is all black, from my scissors to my
Yep.
combs to my case to my so
To your
it
cars?
matches, you know, to my
Bro.
cars, to my fits. It's like
Those details are like the experience you provide is one, and then two, like you paying attention to those details that are important to you, and this is your everyday stuff, makes everyone feel the same. I used to go pass out product, and if I pulled up to a radio station studio, I'd have it like in a Louis duffel.
yeah, exactly.
And it'll be like a vintage Louis duffel, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Exactly.
You could have brought it in
In a
shopping
box.
bags,
Yeah.
anything. And I'm like, "Nah, bro, because this is important." And they'll be like,
Yeah.
"It feels important now." Like,
It's the energy
Exactly.
transfer,
Yeah,
the importance
like,
from the right there.
if you
when make
take
it feel
those
like that.
moments to curate it for yourself, what are you gonna do for them? 'Cause
Exactly.
you got that eye for detail, that attention. You're gonna give them the same attention.
Yeah, so
it feels good,
I
like-
want to give credit to the homie Bobby Cerna. He's a dope tattoo artist.
Yeah, I know Bobby's
Bobby
in,
Cerna?
he's in my way, West Covina and all that.
Yeah,
Nice.
so Bobby, honestly, like he would sometimes before he went to go do a house call or something, he'd be getting his haircut
Okay.
first, and at the shop, I'd be like, damn, you just pull up in yellow go-yard briefcase like that, and like you about to go just cut in like in your rollie like that. I mean, like, you about to go tattoo like that. You're not scared of like dirty and shit. It's like, bro, this is part of the job. He was like, he's the one that really I really seen it from where like, oh, you pulling up in a go-yard duffel or like go-yard briefcase out with the tattoo set.
That's dope.
They looking at you like, oh, he's certified.
Yeah.
You know, so I could pay that ticket.
Yeah.
So I took that. I was like,
Because
I don't need to do a
Wow.
I don't need to do a go-yard duffel or anything like that because I want my shit to be secured, especially with like as much as stuff that I need to
And
bring.
the travel,
So let me
like-
go pull up in the all black Ramoa, you know, and
Yep.
and get that stamp going, you know.
Yep.
So
I feel like even in football, it's like you look good, you play good. You know what I mean? It's the same stamp in
very
everything in
huge on
life.
that.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you know, with haircuts, like you don't feel out of place when your cut's put into place. You know what I mean? But if your cut's fucked, you walking around funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
Once
then
you get a
think
fresh,
about it, like,
yeah.
when you go to Louis, it smells good when you go in there. They give you champagne.
every
like,
every
everything,
sensory is accounted for.
Yes.
From even like the security guards in the front, they're in suits.
Yeah.
They're not in
suits.
Yeah.
And you got a sign-in thing in the front. You
Yeah.
feel me? Or you got an appointment already, or with your person that's texting you.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying?
You gotta put your finger biometrics in so you know.
Get your eyes scanned.
Eye scan, blood test.
Cavity check.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Brother said
Pause,
cavity
pause.
check. He's doing it. Yo.
Didn't check you for cavity.
Come on.
Oh
Pause.
my god.
This guy.
Sweet. Super sweet.
This guy's super weird.
That's dope though. That's dope. I like that, man. I
Hey,
didn't know.
Yeah.
You're
That's how you move.
minimalist? I feel like you give me, are you like, what do you feel about the word minimalist?
I'm a maxi minimalist. What I mean, like, I want to max out on everything I want, but also I need my spaces. I need my environments to be very much minimal yet concise. You know what I mean? Like every single thing
No, that's true.
in the shop, everything
Yeah,
matters.
cleaned up.
From every grain to that,
Yeah.
I give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, so like everything that's positioned, boom, boom. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
maybe it's
yeah.
OCD, I don't know, but like even in my fridge, I want all my waters to be faced
Facing straight.
perfectly. You know what I mean?
I gotta go fix the fridge.
I love the couch that you just, I don't know if you just got that couch at your crib. It looks mad comfortable, the leather one.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
You posted, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
I think you posted it yesterday. I was looking at the crib. That's why my question came out. I was looking at it. I was like, dude, keeps it, like, his living room so, like, minimal and crisp. It looks super nice, and it gives aesthetic off of it. Because you could have made it however. You could have put a bunch of paintings on the wall everywhere.
I've had homes like that. Like,
You know what I mean?
I had my loft set up to where like you thought you was walk into an art gallery. It was like not one piece of the wall had
That's dope
space
too.
for no
Yeah,
art.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I think it's just also growing up in that
Yeah.
era of at one point we was all heavy like super streetwear and like
yeah.
cause dolls everywhere, bear
Yeah.
bricks and
Yeah.
you know all that type of art everywhere. And I just like kind of lived through that, and I have a lot of that still in storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now my home is very much, I think, of who I am today. It's something that makes me feel me at all times. It's
Yeah,
your home.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
your nucleus. You know what
Like
I mean? Like
nucleus for
tranquil.
it's where
Yeah.
it's like where from the morning to the time to go to sleep. That's where you start and that's where you're gonna finish. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah.
whether it's waking up and fixing your bed or ending the night having a good home cooked meal, it's like you don't want to ever make your home feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people that don't pay attention to how they build out their home and how they set it up. It's like, oh, no one's gonna come over, so I don't gotta fix my bed, or like
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
go into my closet because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just messy. It just sets you up for the rest of your day. Like it just like you said with like the Nike feeling, like you put on
Yeah.
the Nike
Yeah.
or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
like that. Just do it. You know what I mean? It makes
Yeah.
you feel like
Let's
I'm ready
go.
to work out. You know,
It's a subconscious thing
So-
too. They said. They
Yeah.
say if you fix your bed in the morning, it's already like one task already achieved.
Completed. You already
Number
won one
one-
thing out of the day.
Then it's
Win the
momentum.
day.
Yeah.
I'm huge on that. I
Momentum,
need
win
my
the day.
bed fixed.
Win the
every
fucking
morning.
day. What's one thing that you have in your daily schedule? Because your daily schedule every single day pertaining, that's what makes you great, right? What one thing that makes you great in your daily schedule that you do consistently? Like other than like folding your bed in the morning and every single thing. What's one process every day you got to do, or at least maintain from there?
This is an ongoing developing process, but and it's very new as in like making a priority to do so was praying for sure.
Nice.
Prayer.
Nice.
That's dope. It gets
You know,
deep.
I've been a little bit somewhat vocal about it on the gram and all that type of shit, but like I was subconsciously lost without even knowing I was lost. You know, I thought it was all good. You know, and I was doing whatever I did, but like I only tapped in and you know and said thank you and was grateful only at those moments where it was really ultimate. And also I also tapped in, you know, begging and longing
highs
for
and
help
lows.
when it was down and out. Now
Yeah.
it's like even on a regular day, I'm praying, and I pray more with gratitude. You know what I mean? But also
That's dope.
pray that like I can't do it by myself. You know, like in any way, I'm not self-made in any way. It takes an army to build whatever you need to do. Rome wasn't
Yeah.
built in a day,
Yeah.
but yeah, for sure. Like prayer to the one I pray to and above is something that really, really carries me throughout my day. I gotta guarantee I do it. And my favorite place to do it, honestly, is in the sauna. It's in the
Nice.
sauna.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
because
do
it's
the
so,
same thing.
so
In
rough.
tune.
It's so
I
like
do the same thing.
because
dope.
it's hard.
vibe,
It's
bro.
kind of hard because also it's
It's a
you know it's so
vibe.
fucking hot. And you're,
Yeah.
like sweating, and like lots of times in the sauna, there's a lot of other people.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah.
are having conversations, and shit, like really to break through and just
Yeah.
Get through it. Huh?
do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I've only became more eloquent with my prayer. You know what I mean? Not even to bring it to like religion and shit. Like
Yeah, no.
again, I didn't think I
In
would
tune
want
with
to
the
go on
higher
this
is
pot,
important.
It's
you know?
dope because it's still like a form of like self-reflect, meditation. It's all that, and then like peace. Like it's dope. And the sauna is a perfect place. That's where I started too. Like I started, I pray throughout the day, random times, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I started doing the same thing in the sauna, and it just feels like
Spiritual and physical. in there, huh?
it feels like it was meant to be
Yeah.
at that moment. That's tight. That's a vibe.
Thank you for sharing that, bro. That's
course,
huge.
of
That's
course.
huge. Nah, it was a pleasure, bro. I could talk to you about everything for days. You know what I,
I know.
mean?
We don't have to run a part two.
Yeah,
we
we
definitely
have
got to
to.
come back, bro.
Now that my origin story is out, we're good on that. Like we could go
the
fuck off
part
and
two
talk
will
some
be
shit.
we're gonna do a project together.
Yeah.
So we'll do.
Y'all
part
don't
two.
know this, bro. This is more than
Yeah.
just getting haircuts, bro. I'm
We're
trying to show y'all
cooking.
something and teach y'all something about the
Yeah.
environment when I bring on these different people, bro. AJ, say what
Everybody here is
we
creative.
connect. We want to do
Yeah.
something more elevated in a higher way and do it
Yeah.
elegantly and do it correctly. Because me and my brother are still learning, and we learn from AJ, but then we learn
Yeah.
from each other. Then we learn from each. We have Jules right here, and then I was even talking to Jules the other day because I wanted to do a photo shoot with him. Let me get this
Yeah,
clear because we
yeah.
launched our apparel brand, right?
Yep.
He's like, no, bro, we need to literally sit down and do it this way. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
didn't get it, but I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, he wants to just create a certain vision.
Yeah.
But he was doing his own photo shoot, so I was asking him. I was like, hey, when did you start planning this? He goes, like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then he started telling me
Yeah.
more about it. And I'm like, I definitely want to do it like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's it. His different. Because
Again, if I'm
you're
gonna touch
prepared.
it, like,
You-
that's the thing.
yeah,
It's like I
yeah.
can't help
You
it.
got
Sometimes a good
perfected.
thing
Yeah.
and a bad thing, but it's like if I'm gonna touch it, I need to max out.
That's
Yeah.
why,
Max out,
and
yeah.
I
You
love
have
that
to.
because I'm learning from
Yeah.
there, and I want to go through that process, bro. And then when we do put it out, it's like part of the, like what you going through every single moment in life. You learn from
Yeah.
experience, right?
Yeah.
Even putting out products is the same way, but doing a
super proud
certain
of you.
drop,
Yeah.
doing certain drops. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
but
I'm proud of you specifically for the pod in regards to like I seen when the numbers were just like
Yeah.
70 views, 100 views type shit. You know, like
Yep.
people are tuned in, and you had some sick people on here. And every time, the Big Chief bros, they make it a point to like they're with me every week. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
we don't gotta talk numbers here, but like if you take what it costs to come sit down in my chair and you
Yeah.
come once a
Yeah.
week,
You're doing well.
you could get yourself a good whip on payment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So just based off them
Yep.
two coming to me.
I don't pay for
So-
I don't pay for like the service. I pay for the experience that you all have, and then just sitting there just makes me feel great and passes on the energy, bro.
Yep.
You have great energy, bro. Like your aura is amazing for everyone around you. Even the two boys at the back at home, Zeus and Xander.
Shout out
the
the young
shuffles,
bulls.
the young
Shout out
bulls.
the young bulls.
Cherry on top is we just leave looking fly.
Yeah.
With the mindset.
Yeah, we literally.
Yep.
I know. I walk in there and be like, "Damn, I'm gonna walk outside and meet 10 love in my
I'm
life."
on.
You know what
I'm
I mean?
on.
I'm on
Yeah.
right now. I can,
It's time to go
I
to
can
home.
conquer the world.
Like MJ said, like it's time to go to Home Goods after, you know?
Yeah.
Meet me in the
I
candle
gotta spin the
section.
block. Let me spin the block.
Let me do it. Let me
Meet me
walk
in the
again
candle
over
section.
here. That's what
Get a little ear one.
Hey, do you feel like that after a haircut? Like,
Gotta
man,
go
I
hair
feel
one
like
after,
always.
for
But
real.
imagine after
Always.
Julius Cvesar haircut, after you go in there and I take my shirt off and I get a haircut and everyone looks at me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like I pay attention to where y'all motherfuckers be going right after you get your haircut. It's like, damn, he went straight to the gym. Like he feeling good. He like at prime time.
Yep.
I know you're going there right after this.
Yeah.
So
Bro, I just got a haircut the other day. I was like, gym.
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
Bro, you look good. You feel good.
You don't get your car washed and go park it.
Yeah.
You get it washed and then
You kind of
out.
like spin the block a little bit. You know what I'm
you
saying?
gotta-
Before you go home.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know we got to end this pod like ASAP, like yesterday, but
It's cool. I love it.
I'm super excited to see what y'all continue to do with the brand. Again, I'm very big on experiential brand building, and I see that you guys are very much in tune with that and bringing on key players that really are shapeshifters of the game and want to make sure you keep everyone connected is super important. I'm very excited to see how I could continue to build with y'all too at the brand. And again, I never do podcasts, and this isn't even a favor, but I just knew it was something that needed to happen. So
we're about to build
thanks for
something
having
great.
me.
Yeah,
and
just
then
like
we're
part two.
gonna bring you back because we're about to do something great right before we introduce it. We're gonna bring you back and we're gonna talk about it like we're going into it. You know,
Yeah.
we curate it. MJ said curate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead and
What
comment.
number is this?
What number is this? 124. Kobe.
124.
124.
Keep you keep 100 and it's 24. You know, so Kobe. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Comment like your favorite parts of the pod below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I love to talk to our community. You know what I mean? This is our tribe, and we're still building. We're gonna be in this bitch like Joe Rogan in the long run. You feel me?
Yep. Straight up.
For real.
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in, and go ahead and subscribe and go get our apparel. Bam!
Llama red pajama, I feel along with my mama, Baby llama wanna drink, mama at the sink,